I'm Arielle, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about remote collars. You might not be sure what a remote collar is, but you've probably heard of a shock collar. So that's the first myth I'm going to address. Remote collars do not shock dogs. They can be used safely in water and do not cause burns. They work like a TENS unit, which is like a muscle stimulator. And these collars are used to teach and correct. So the video today will be all about teaching. Teaching is done on a dog's working level. This is the lowest level the dog feels, and this number can change, and it differs dog to dog and for situations. You'll see this happen in the video. The number I start teaching with is not the one that I end with. I watch the dog and adjust accordingly. So before we get learning, please remember to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos. Here we go. So this is Journey. Journey has been working with her owners the last few weeks on prong collar to learn all of her basic obedience. This includes sit, down, place, recall, and learn to walk politely on a leash. And now she's here for a few weeks to go through all of her e-collar training, which we're going to layer over her prong. So this is Journey's first lesson on e-collar. So the first thing we want to do is find her working level. This is the lowest level she feels. Start in a place that's low distraction. I don't want to be competing with other things. So this is a mini educator and it has 100 levels. So I'm going to start pretty low and find out which one she can feel. I'm not looking for a big reaction here. I'm looking for an ear twitch, a look over the shoulder. I'm looking for something really subtle, and that's where I want to start with this, is on the lowest level she feels. Because I'm going to teach with it. We're not anywhere near correction mode yet. We're in that teaching phase, which is our lowest level or our working level. So this is a 1. So see that right there? That's on an 8. So I'm going to give that a try again, see if I still get that reaction. Good girl. I think she's feeling that. Again, we're looking for pretty subtle. I'll check in a little bit during training to see if I still think she's feeling that. But that is on an 8 out of 100 on the mini educator. Most dogs' working level is below 20 in a low distraction environment. If you're getting well above 20, I would check fit of the collar. It should be fairly snug on the dog. And if you have a dog with long fur or thick fur, you want to make sure you're parting the fur and that the contact points are actually making contact with the skin. Some dogs will go above that level, but if you're getting up pretty high and you're not noticing any reaction from the dog, it's usually an issue with the fit of the collar. Now, puppy. So we're going to start out with a command that Journey already knows, and that's the place command. She learned this with the prong and leash, so we're going to layer it with e-collar. She has no idea what this means yet, but just like with prong, we're going to teach pressure on, pressure off. So when I hold down this button here, it's going to be continuous, meaning she's going to feel that little tingle continuously until I let the button go. So I'm going to ask her place, lead her up there, hold in that button. As soon as she gets to place, I'm going to let the button go, teaching her to turn off that pressure. This is not a correction. This is just guidance. Here, Journey, break. Good girl. Let's go. Place. Good. Break. Place. Great. Break. So I'm just holding that button down on place, and I'm holding it in until she gets all the way to place. I want her to understand that this button has meaning. Later on in later stages, I'm just going to be tapping it when I give that command, but right now I'm going to do continuous until she gets there. So completing that command is what's going to release that button. Come on, Johnny, let's go. Let's go. Good girl. Place. Sit. Good. Break. Always start in a low distraction environment. Make things easy for yourself and the dog in the early stages. You're going to remove this bed. It's actually proving to be a little bit of a distraction for her. place. Good. Break. Good girl. Place. Good. Break. Let's go. Place. Break. Place. Good. Break. Good girl. I'm going to do a check on her working level there. We're on an 8. I'm just going to dial up to a 9. So we're up at a 14 now. This can change, this can fluctuate. So it could be that, I moved the bed out of the room. It could be that I brought in some treats, that she's working now. There's lots of different reasons why that working level changes. And I just want to check in to make sure she's feeling that, because I want her to start making that connection of that feeling and the commands. So we're up at a 14 now. I'm going to stay there for a little bit. Great. Good girl. Place. Good. Break. Place. Good. Break. Place. Break. Place. Break. Place. Break. Place. Break. So every time I give the command, I'm holding that button down. Place. Good. When she gets on place, I'm letting that button go. In the next clip, you'll see what happens when the working level suddenly isn't working anymore. The number became too high, and Journey had a bigger reaction than I wanted. Place. What do you do if this happens? You dial down and you keep working. You haven't messed up your dog. Jump right back into your obedience. Don't let your dog keep dwelling on the moment. Move on and stay calm. Dog training is all about patience. So she had been on a 14 that whole time, and all of a sudden you saw a bigger reaction out of her that was still on the 14. But she was tuned in more, she knew what we were doing, and she felt this a lot more than I wanted her to feel. So I started dialing right back down. Now we're on a 6. And I'm seeing a little bit of an ear twitch there, so she does feel it. I don't want the reaction the 14 was giving me anymore. It worked for a bit. That was what was keeping her tuned in, and then all of a sudden it was too much. So I dialed way back down, so now I'm at a 6. And we're gonna keep going from there. Right, good girl. Place. We did some more repetitions. Dog training isn't fancy, it is very repetitive. Then we moved on to nonverbal, which you will see next. So the next few clips, you're going to see Journey go into place without me saying anything. I want to see if she's starting to understand what the remote collar is asking her to do. And in this scenario, it's asking her to go to place. We practice it and practice it and practice it. I've said the word place. We've done that continuous pressure on until she gets onto the place. So now what I'm going to do is just start walking near place and holding this button to see if she's actually picking up that what the remote is telling her to do. So I'm going to try to show the camera kind of the red light. When that red light is on, that's when I'm holding down that button. When it goes off, that's when I'm letting go. So I'm going to start holding down that button to see if she's cluing in to go to place. And then I'll let it go once she's there. If she does get a little confused, I'm going to use a little bit of body pressure, a little bit of leash pressure to guide her there to help her do it without that verbal command. Because I want to see if the collar has any meaning to her yet. Break. Good girl. Good. Break. Good. Break. There's a nice thought process happening here. I didn't press the button, but Journey hops on place, rethinks her choice, then begins following me again. Let's go. Here, I don't mind her hopping over place. If she was in a formal heel, I wouldn't allow it, but I'm using a let's go command, which is very informal. I just need her with me, so the detours are okay for the time being. Break. Good. Break. She struggles a bit on this rep, so I continue to hold the button in until she figures it out. I want her thinking for herself. I'm not on correction level, because that wouldn't be fair at this stage, but I'm holding it in on a continuous working level and letting her figure out how to turn that pressure off. Thank you for watching my remote collar intro video. I hope I shed some light on these wonderful tools. This is just a small piece of the puzzle, but it's a great place to start. If your goal is to have a fully off-leash trained dog, you have to start with the basics. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.